Hey, welcome to the Rubin Report. I'm the guy that told Obama to use an orange line instead of a red line, Dave Rubin. I've got Jackie Geary and Ben Mankiewicz with me. The first time ever, by the way, that we've had a guest bring a computer to the desk. I'm a little nervous about this, Ben.
I shake things up. I did it on Match Game in 1979, and Gene was queasy, etc. But it worked out well.
All right, well, we have computers and we have plenty of information for you. We're going to start off with Syria. I thought the war was going to start last week. They've given us a little extra time here. As we know, Obama is going to Congress right now. This thing is going to happen. There's absolutely no doubt about it. John Kerry was speaking to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee yesterday. I think it's kind of funny that we've decided that somehow going to a group of people whose approval rating is 15% is what's going to decide whether we're going to war or not. We are going. All right, so let's start, though, with Nancy Pelosi, because she apparently gets her wartime advice from her 5-year-old grandson.
I'll tell you this story, and then I really do have to go. My 5-year-old grandson, as I was leaving San Francisco yesterday, he said to me, "Mimi," my name, "Mimi, war with Syria. Are you yes, war with Syria? No, war with Syria." Now he's 5 years old. And war, he's saying war. I mean, we're not talking about war, we're talking about an action. Yes, war with Syria, no war with Syria. I said, "Well, what do you think?" He said, "I think no war." I said, "Well, I generally agree with that, but you know, they've killed hundreds of children there. They've killed hundreds of children." And he said, 5 years old, "Were these children in the United States?" And I said, "Well, no, but they're children wherever they are." So I don't know what news he's listening to or who he's listening to, but even a 5-year-old child has to, with the wisdom of our interests, well, how does it affect our interests? Well, it affects our interests because it was, again, outside the circle of civilized behavior. It was humanity drew a line decades ago that I think if we ignore, we do so to the peril of many other people who could suffer.
Okay, so we all get it. She's trying to be cute there and humanize this thing, except it seems to me that her grandchild actually has more of a sound foreign policy than she does, because her grandson said, "Are they American?" implying if they're not American, then maybe we shouldn't do this, which seems to be something that Nancy Pelosi pretty much believed until this war. What is the Botox going straight to her brain?
Seriously.
I guess that's really the way to start.
The kid was essentially like, "Mimi, no, Mimi.
Yeah.
The kids are not, they are not United States citizens. Don't do it, Mimi." And she was like, "Oh, kids, isn't that funny?"
Did she realize what the kid was saying there? Because the
No.
kid was making the point, they're not Americans, don't do this.
Don't do it.
The fact that the House Democratic leader missed the point of a 5-year-old story. The 5-year-old story was pretty clear.
Right.
No war. Okay, I have a follow-up question because you
Yes.
appear to be pro-war.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Are the kids Americans? No, they're not. And then she turns that into, so I think he sees the world and how the world works.
No.
People involved, rain, tough days.
Yes,
You're
tough,
like, what the-
tough stuff,
Yeah.
stuff.
I
She
love
starts
how
saying words.
She then relates it back to the red line that the world has set, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but just like an hour ago,
Yes.
Obama's speaking, and now he's saying it's not his, he never meant red line. This is the world's red line. Is there anything that's true anymore? You know, we had a coup in Egypt a couple weeks ago, and they refused to call it a coup.
Yes.
The red line is no longer a red line.
Yes.
Is the bigger problem here that this is now all about words? We're not even honest with just the way we word things.
No, we're just going to use a lot of words and say things and try to get out of having said things and change what we said into something else completely.
But as a people, we spend far too much time worrying about the words in the first place. What matters is the action. What matters is the policy. It shouldn't matter whether Obama said the red line or the world said the red line or not. Just because you say something doesn't mean you have to do it later.
Right.
If I say to my girlfriend, if you ever, if you ever sleep with somebody else, I will leave you. And then it turns out, no, I don't want to leave her. We have a family, and like what if I?
You shouldn't do that again.
Have I committed some grave, horrible error?
Right.
But no, I get to make my decision then based on the circumstances on the ground.
Okay, so what would you say
By
then?
the way, just for the record, far as I
sleeps
know,
with
she
everyone.
hasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
But now she knows she
For the
can.
record,
So
she's a bit of a whore.
yeah.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah,
What are you going to
yeah.
do? What are you
Wait,
gonna
but so for all the people that are saying, well, Obama set this red line and it's not Obama's credibility on the line, it's the United States credibility, you just don't see that as a valid
I
argument.
think that this is a perfect example of what we talk about far too much in the rich world of punditry. And in general, we talk about reputation and sort of earning respect and doing damage to your reputation, and most of all, hypocrisy. Like, the world is a complicated place. The Middle East is a perfect example of that complication. And yeah, maybe we took an action here and we didn't take an action there because circumstances change. They change every day, and the right thing on Thursday may have been a different thing on Monday.
Yeah. Does it seem to you guys that this is really not about Syria and this is really about Iran? Because it seems to me that Syria was only doing stuff in their borders. They've already killed 100,000 people, which is pretty awful. That we're building this thing up.
They killed them in the cool way.
In the old-fashioned
Right.
way,
Yeah.
the conventional way,
Organically.
the classic way.
Yes.
But that it seems to me we're putting all these destroyers in the Mediterranean. Russia's putting a bunch of destroyers in the Suez Canal. Like, this thing is leading to that Obama really set a red line that's important about Iran and the nuke, that the chemical weapons thing may not be the real issue here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's certainly possible. I mean, I think there are two big concerns. I also think that before we dismiss using attacks on Syria, which I, would rather we didn't, but mostly because I can't see how no one has yet, unless you've read something that I have not, no one has made a case as to why it will be effective, other than we have to do it, and if we don't do it, it's ineffective, rather than here's what it's going to do.
That's exactly
We
what
have to do it
Kerry
'cause
said
we
yesterday.
But it does
Yeah.
matter that even though 100,000 people have been killed, as you say, in the classic way, and Turner Classic Movies approves of the classic killing.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
as long as they kill them in black and white.
Right, then it's good. Then we like it.
Yeah, and then not that much blood when they die. We can't see
Just
it
a
for
little
the kids.
small
right?
piece. Yes, we'll cut away.
But if the world has made, like, these decisions that the world makes about things like chemical weapons, that matter. They do matter. And they broke that. And unlike, I don't know about you guys, but unlike Iraq, I don't really have any doubt that this information seems incredibly right that they did this. So I get that you have to do that. I get the feeling that you have to do something, that there has to be action taken, and that we can't just say those 100,000 people who were killed conventionally, that's bad, but we don't take action. But these 1,400 and 400 children who were killed in the chemical attack is different. It is different. How you react to it, obviously, is incredibly tricky.
Right. So why do we have to do it every time? That's the part. Obama has been this big UN guy and everything has to go through the UN, but he's now the one that's exposed the UN for the total fraud that it is, because we can't get anything done in the UN because of China and Russia. So why is it that the US, I don't know that we're any better than Canada. How come Canada doesn't feel they have to do it?
We've decided we're the police somehow, and we're in charge of everything. And I think that's why a lot of countries are annoyed by us, to use the polite term. It's just that we feel like this is all our business.
Yeah.
Which, yes, it's horrible, it's horrific, but I don't see what it's going to do, and nobody is coming up with any sort of real plan that seems that will make any difference. It's just the John Kerry threat of, well, if we don't, then what?